Hey, legends, welcome along to Hellmouth Hotline. I forgot what podcast I was on there for a second. I do apologise. Yeah, Hellmouth Hotline. I'm your host, Rodney Stewart, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We're getting into this one more time. Yes, with an episode called Goodbye, Iowa. And this is season 4, episode 14, I do believe. And yes, this one here is everything is starting to go south for Buffy and the initiative as well, in a way. Of course, in the last episode, we had discovered that Professor Walsh had tried to take Buffy out, and this has, at the end of the episode, she was actually killed as well by Adam, who is just about to escape and start to screw things up quite a bit. Yeah, so Buffy, at the beginning of the episode, she's following the gang in and everything that's gone on since she started working with the initiative. And, you know, the gang, they're starting to question Riley as well, you know, if he was involved in the trap that Professor Walsh had set for Buffy. Buffy, she's she's torn right now. She's strong feelings for this guy, and yes, of course, our friends are, kind of turning on him at this point. But they're well within their rights to be questioning this guy. He's part of this secret group, and I think Xander actually says it at one point. It's they're good at keeping secrets and lies and whatnot. So that's the thing about secret groups. They're good at telling lies. So yeah, Buffy is arming the gang with weapons, and they're making plans to hide out in Xander's basement. Place where the initiative wouldn't think of looking, really. Riley shows up at this point at Giles' place asking Buffy for information, and he starts to get upset when he realises that Spike is there. He finally catches on who Spike is, Hostile 17. Riley doesn't want to accept that the rest of them are saying that what Professor Walsh and the initiative are, he doesn't want to acknowledge that the initiative isn't the above board group that he believes it is. At this point, he's starting to call everything into the question as well, and Buffy and her friends are like, the group tried to just kill me. Professor Walsh tried to take me out and whatnot. He's seen it for himself. In the last episode, at the end of it, Professor Walsh had told him, given the bad news that Buffy went on a mission for, was killed by these demons and whatnot. And of course, on the computer screens in the background, Buffy shows up and she tells Walsh, you think that's going to take me out, you know nothing about Slayers. So, Riley does know the score. He doesn't want to believe it at this point. So Adam escapes the initiative through a vent. He approaches this young boy playing alone and starts to question him about his nature. What am I? And the guy's like, you're a monster. And Adam's like, what are you? And the kid, he's like, well, I'm just a boy, more or less. And Adam starts to question him about, how do you work? And the kid's like, I don't know, I just do. And the kid's, asking him questions about, what's this in your arm? And you see the skewer weapon thing that Adam was given from the beast in the prior episode. What's interesting about that sequence is it's a callback to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Whenever the monster first escapes from Dr. Frankenstein and he meets the kid and accidentally kills the kid, But so it's a nod to Frankenstein Frankenstein's monster. But of course, Adam is just flat out evil. He does kill this kid. You don't see that happening. We do get the aftermath of it, though. Yes, back at the initiative, Dr. Engelman, I want to say, slips, if that's how you pronounce his name, slips in the pool of blood as he enters room 314, finds Professor Walsh stabbed to death. Yes, the news quickly gets out. Riley and Forrest see Walsh's body. Forrest accuses Buffy of staking Maggie. There's a stab wound there. That's a Slayer trait, more or less. So, yeah. So now Riley is going to be, at this point, he's literally getting 1 foot on either side of the two groups. Buffy and the Scooby Gang and the initiative, of course. Giles, we cut over to Xander's basement the next morning. Giles is grumpy when he wakes up. The girls there watching cartoons. A new story comes on about the young boy who's been killed and mutilated. Believing it to be the recently captured Polgar demon, Buffy goes after it. Riley, against Dr. Engelman's orders, also instructs the commandos to search for the Polgar. He and Buffy both end up at the park where the boy was killed. While Buffy tries to apologise to Riley, Riley informs her that Walsh is dead and asks Buffy if she's happy about that. So, Buffy's like, why the hell would I be happy about this sort of thing? Things are going from bad to worse for the two of them in this episode. Willow, cut over to her, she goes to Tara's dorm room, planning to find the Polgar demon by calling on Vespia and a spell that shows nearby demonic activity. However, Tara secretly sabotages the spell and it fails to work. Buffy, we cut back to her, she's searching for information at Willie's, but Riley also shows up, very angry. He's starting to shake, he's sweating, he's scratching his hand so badly that it starts to bleed. He's questioning Buffy's intentions about, you're supposed to be fighting demons, now you're hanging out with them, sort of a thing. So, he's starting to lose it at this point, and he actually pulls a gun on an innocent woman that's in this bar. It's a bar that's known for demons, but this woman, she's just in for a drink, and yes, he pulls him up, the gun on her, and he's like, I don't even know what's real anymore. Like, if I pull this trigger, is this woman going to die, or I'm going to end up with a really pissed off vampire in my hands? He's just, he is going bat shit crazy in this episode. So, Buffy consoles Riley as she sees that he's sick and getting sicker, and she gets him back, talks him down, gets this innocent woman out of there. She gets him back to Xander's to rest up. When he does wake up, Willow tries to stop him from going after Buffy, but he pushes her to the ground and runs out. Buffy and Xander, at this point, they've gone off to the initiative to try and work out what's going on. We cut back over to Wally's place. Spike pops up in there. He's been on the run from the commandos for a while now. They actually get into the crypt earlier on in the episode. He was hiding below a skeleton in one of the crypts. He gets into Wally's place for a drink of blood and whatnot, but he's badly beaten by the demons. They've discovered that he's been associating with the Slayer and bringing war upon demonkind. So they tell him if he's seen around again, they will kill him. So he's beaten badly, like really badly. We cut over to the initiative, and disguised as a scientist, Buffy gets herself and Xander. He's dressed up in army fatigues. They get into the initiative and they overhear Dr. Engelman talking to another scientist about the commandos having withdrawals from the drugs that they've been secretly putting into their food. So these guys are kind of like victims of like a super soldier program as well. Buffy grabs Dr. Engelman, demanding information about 314, at which point Riley arrives to help Buffy, but he's still unwilling to accept Professor Walsh's sinister motives, at which point Adam drops a dead body to the floor, revealing that he's in there as well. He's come back searching for answers as well about the world, and he's looking for answers about himself and who he is. He's got like this disk drive thing in his chest, and this is where the episode is kind of shows its age. He's putting on like floppy disks into this thing in his chest, and floppy disks they have been out of style for a long time now. But he's realised that kind of like what he is, but not why he is, sort of thing. But he does know that there's something wrong with his programming. I think there's a programming failure here as well. So he knows he's a nasty piece of work, but he doesn't know the reason for his existence, more or less. When he inserts the discs into his chest, labelled Adam, he offers information that reveals that he is part human, demon and machine, and he explains that even Riley had a real mother. Maggie was also his mother, as she shaped and built him into a human machine for the initiative. So he is there is a connection between Riley and Adam that we haven't worked out yet. Engelman at one point in the episode says that Riley's the most important one out of the commandos here, because he's part of the plan, more or less. So I might be wrong on just how much of a connection there is between the two of them, but Adam is even pointing out the connection between the two of them, that Maggie, Adam called mother, was also a mother to Riley, because she shaped him as in the soldier that he is. So Riley isn't happy at this. He eventually tries to take on Adam. Adam pretty much hands everybody their ass at the end of the episode. He kills Dr. Engelman, injures Riley before escaping again. The other commandos then turn up, take Riley away. They're about to turn on Buffy. Of course, they're still blaming her for the stab wound that killed Professor Walsh, but Riley points out, no, she's 100% right. It was this demon. He's just gone this way. So he sends the commandos go after him, but the others take Riley away to a medical facility that is, part of the initiative and part of the military. So Buffy and the Scoobies can't be a part of it, So at the end of the episode, Buffy, she's talking to Willow about how Adam is out there, very dangerous, and Riley has pretty much lost everything and he's got nothing to hold on to. But we cut over to a shot of the hospital. Riley, he's lying in bed and he's holding the scarf that Buffy gave him earlier in the episode. Even though Buffy cannot see him, he has part of her to hold on to at the end of the episode. This here episode, now I'm trying to go by memory here. Sorry, I just had something right here and apologise to myself for doing it. I'm trying to recall from memory, but the thing about this season for me, even the first time around, it felt very disjointed in places, and I think Professor Walsh, the woman that played her, I think there was something happened as far as her career outside of Buffy the Vampire Slayer went, that her character was supposed to be a bigger part in this season. And Buffy the Vampire Slayer, she is supposed to be more or less one of the main big bad in it. But another job came along, another opportunity arose, and I think she decided to cut her losses as far as Buffy went and kind of left them high and dry at one point. So I think there's a lot of, changing the trajectory of the scripts during the shooting of the season. So that does feel a bit off in the way that it's shot and put together. For me, it's not the strongest season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And in all fairness, this was the season that kind of took me out of it for a long time. Up until season 4 of Buffy, I never missed an episode. But when we got to this stage, I kind of slipped away from it because of it just wasn't holding my attention the way the prior seasons were. Having said that, there was a lot of stuff going on in my personal life back then as well, so getting the chance to see it sometimes wasn't just on the cards either. But eventually did come back into the later seasons and started watching them more regularly again. But yes, this is just one of these episodes where you're starting to see the kind of the disjointedness of it. The killing of Professor Wash in the prior episode was a shock. At the end of it, you weren't expecting that to happen. But as I say, it was a necessary thing to do because of what was going on. Our character had to be taken out of the equation. It was skillfully done. Again, as I say, it was a shock to the viewer whenever you seen it happen and how it happened. But yes, that's what happened. And the episodes after that, we were just kind of saying, okay, we hadn't planned for this, so we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants here as we're putting the rest of the season together. So it is what it is. Right, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and until the next one, whatever you're doing, stay safe, and I'll talk to you all then. This has been a production of Coins Age Media. Thank you so much for listening.